You are watching or listening to Jade Emerald Green. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow so that you are staying connected with the daily content arrivals that are made just for you. Thank you. Good morning. Today is Thursday, July 3rd, 2025, and this is the daily collective tarot and oracle reading on Jade Emerald Green, y'all. I'm up early. Okay. So, one thing I haven't acknowledged, because I posted yesterday's, right? But for the first, I recorded the first. You're probably not even thinking that was like 2 days ago now. You're probably not even thinking about it, but I'm still gonna post it just because I know I recorded it, but I ended up having a lot going on that day. Family, Alter, Milwaukee was closing. That was their last day. And then, yes, of course, I was at Freight 38 for the Food for Thought poetry night. So your girl's been busy, right? And I know I'm always gonna have bags under my eyes. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna see what I can get. Some eye serum. I had some eye serum, but it ended up spilling everywhere. So I'm gonna work on that. But I'm feeling okay. I just wanted to say that. I know it's right now like 4 something in the morning when I'm recording this, which is a perfect time before the day really fully begins. So, yes, Moon and Libra all today. Before the Moon goes void, which means like it's traveling in between signs. But today is a day about harmony, justice, that we may notice things that are unjust right now, i.e. this big bill. Ain't nothing beautiful about it. When I went to sleep, there were 5 House of Representative members that were voting no against it, and they were trying to hold the line. Mike Johnson, I guess, worked his magic, and from my understanding, as I woke up, because I saw an article, I'm like, oh yeah, they have what they need for big beautiful bill, like overcomes hurdle or whatever the fuck. I'm like, wait, what? And I checked it, and I checked the time on it. It was like July 3rd, 3:39 at Eastern time, so at 2:39 my time, right? So I was just like, okay, that was after I went to bed. We're cooked. I mean, I'm not so fatalistic about it, truly, and I know there's nothing that is gonna happen without a fight. I know a lot of people have been fighting against this, but even if it were to get signed, there is every cause has an effect. Like, I don't think this is going to necessarily end up in a way where, these people are comfortable, you know? So I think Moon and Libra is anything that's unjust, we're going to notice it more. But it's also a time of harmony today. I'm still hearing the birds chirping. They're going to be chirping all morning, of course. Like, it's also a sign to notice the beauty, a time to notice the beauty in life. So do that too. Yeah, because tomorrow is going to be very interesting as we have Neptune going retrograde, Venus conjunct Uranus and Taurus before Venus moves into Gemini. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. In any case, you're here for the daily collective tarot and oracle reading, and I do this with the situation, action, outcome spread, but it is expanded and stylized. If this is your first time here, you'll hear the questions and you'll kind of get a catch for it real quick. And then I also pull from several oracle decks. So we're going to be here analyzing what our day is going to look like. And I know I try to keep these under 30 minutes. It has not been successful. I know there's only 24 hours in a day. But after this week, starting on Sunday, there will be a new format to make the daily check-ins shorter. And we're going to start doing a weekly reading. The weekly collective readings will be longer. And then this will be like a quicker, that way I can share that more on social media. It'll be easier. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this here, move this here. All right, so situation, action, outcome. Oh, I hate this glare. Okay, situation, action, outcome. First question we always want to ask is, what the fuck are we doing here? We have the King of Swords. We have the Nine of Cups for what the fuck should we do about it, our action card, right? Recommended action, I should clarify. Nine of Cups. For our, where's the fuckery card, our action to avoid strength, okay? Interesting take, but we'll get into it. For our what happens when we do what the fuck we're supposed to do? We have the Lovers. All right. For our what the fuck fuckery card, our likely outcome based off of the action we should avoid, we have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. And as always, we have a clarifier. And in that case, it is the Emperor. Emperor is back. Contextualizing, highlighting, okay? And moving forward, I'm just going to turn everything else over and then we'll analyze. We have our Prism Oracle, which is, I call it colors and keywords. Colors and keywords. We have, well, it was growth came first. Growth, green for growth, and gray for peace. I have a feeling that somebody's growing up. For our Celebrity Spirit Oracle, we have George Day is back. Okay. What's the tea? Karmic friends. Can't fully trust them. Tension. Secret competition. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Interesting. Okay. Broken mirrors. We have high value. The Empress. Beautiful, sexy, abundant, and confident. For our Dark Confessions Oracle, we have, I love this one. I know what I am doing. I play dumb to keep you confused. Trying to get it clear. Yes, focus. All right. And for our angelic connections, at times, you may receive a series of favors or unexpected gifts for no apparent reason. The angels are here to remind you that you are deserving of all good things. All right, focus, man. I just want y'all to be seeing these because I'm going to go into them. Okay. One more time. Focus. All right, there we go. Okay, so I was telling my camera to focus as if it was listening to that. It doesn't really care. Okay, so what I am seeing here. We're growing up. We are growing up. We are right now stepping into a point of immense maturity I think it's not in the traditional or conventional sense. It's the most. It's like it's not like youth going into adulthood over and maturing. No, this is like, like we're getting the OG, the sage level wisdom that we need in our lives in order to carry ourselves in a way that is A, protective of ourselves, and B, is creating a path towards expansion. And there may be still some elements of, antagonism from others, but it seems to not matter so much, at least today. So, let's turn this around here. My phone is charging, so I kind of have to lift it. Okay, y'all. So, what the fuck are we doing here? King of Swords. This is the mastery of the mental. Mind over matter. Control your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts control you. When you are in a situation where you are in the king, like you are giving yourself the opportunity to have a lot of responsibility and you're doing it well. Meaning, with power comes great responsibility. Yes, when you are a king, yes, you are a king. You are ruling, right? But you also have the responsibility, and in this case, it is to your own mental well-being. It is to making sure that your thoughts aren't overwhelming you. You're not riddled with anxiety. You're not doing anything that is, like self-sabotage. You get what I'm saying? You're not letting other people's opinions get to you. All of that, all those things, because you have a job to do. And it's very clear. And you're cutting with precision and making sure it's getting done. That's what I'm getting the read. I'm really getting the positive side of the King of Shadows here. What the fuck are we doing here? Yeah. What the fuck are we doing here? Okay, so that's where we are. And what the fuck should we do about it? Man, you gotta, be in your feelings. Feel good about that. Now, I'm not saying be in your fifis now. Don't be messy with it. But this card is the card of emotional self-fulfillment. Be proud of what you've been able to accomplish. Let that shit swell up a little bit. Have yourself a, like, what they call, like, a hallmark moment or whatever. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I've heard some things about Hallmark I don't really like. But, and I know some things about Hallmark that I don't really like. But, wait, it's not even Hallmark, it's Kodak. A Kodak moment. Okay, so, and if there's anything fucked up about Kodak, let me the fuck know, okay? So, yes, but basically the point is that when you're at the Nine of Cups, you see old girl, she relaxed as hell. She chilling. She got all 9 of her cups. She about to have a party. She might be already drunk, but, she can hold her motherfucking liquor. Like, she got the work tie and everything. Like, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, when you know what the fuck you're doing, then you should know what the fuck you're supposed to do. So, yeah, our situation card kind of, it really informs this. This is good. Even though dude looks serious as hell, I mean, you gotta be about business. But on the inside, you can still, like, be rejuvenated. And you want that type of quiet type of self-confidence, Because we have the shadow side of strength today. Where's the fuckery? Look. You need strength in a lot of things, but there's this concept of soft power that I'm getting from the Nine of Cups that, as to what to do and if this is our where's the fuckery for today. You don't need to force shit. Just because you're a king doesn't mean you always need to rule with an iron fist. Okay? So when it comes to matters of like dealing with life responsibilities, your job, your family, your friends, you know, your passion, anything like that, anything like that. Like, just choose soft power. You don't have to always, you know, exert a level of strength or a level of um like force or power in order to get your point across, basically. um some people, especially with this being um you know, like masculine energy, patriarchal energy, right? I find it funny that he's just holding the sword as far, you know, the way he's holding the sword. Like it seems like he's like holding the sword more like he's trying to like show my friend like, oh hey, I got a new sword. Yeah, I got a deal for this sword at the antique shop. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not like he's wielding it in a way that is that's like, oh, I'm about to cut you, bitch. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like in this iteration of the tarot cards, I know in traditional RWS, the King of Swords is facing straight at you, meaning the present moment, which is important. Like this guy is still looking straight ahead at us. So it's not talking about the past or the future. Like he is looking straight ahead, symbolizing like, you know, he's present here and now. And I think that's an important thing because I think the things that kind of get us into wanting to overexert ourselves or you know, engage in power struggles is not being present. We're too like caught up in the past and having resentment about that or being angry about that, wanting to you know, in our mind what we perceive as righting wrongs, or you know, in the future of, you know, we have this envision, often ends up being of conquest, right? So yeah, even though it is important to be strong and have strength, you ain't gotta, you know, carry all that shit around, or what's the word? Like, you know, you ain't gotta wave it all around. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So be more like the Nine of Cups, not like the Strength card today. So what happens when we do what the fuck we're supposed to do? We have the Lovers. So I'm gonna put this back up here. When we are dropping rocks, no. All right, so when we know what the fuck we're doing here, we do what the fuck we're supposed to do, we may encounter. Okay, so anyone who hasn't heard about like really what the meaning of the Lovers is, yes, lovers on one level could mean romance. It could mean finding somebody, right? It could mean great collaboration, right? But ultimately, it's about choice. You're going to come up on the choice, and you're going to have, what I'm getting from this spirit is saying that by exerting your Nine of Cups energy, you're going to have the space to make the best choice when it approaches you. You'll know what to do, and you'll know how to do it, because you'll have that clarity, you'll have that mental sharpness and that emotional clarity. You'll have control over, having control over your thoughts and emotions, powerful, so that you can make the right decision that you need to make for yourself, whatever that may be, whatever that may be. But the Lovers is about choice, about decisions. So this is important to have. You know, you can be strong with these energies without necessarily having to be heavy-handed with it. So that's amazing. Now, what we don't want to get into, where's the fuckery leads to what the fuck fuckery? A likely outcome based off of the action we should avoid. Now we have the Seven of Pentacles. Now I understand that this imagery right here looks like she's being a boss lady, all her money bags, you know, just sitting, chilling, looking this over. But seven is a number of pause. What I'm getting from this is that when you are getting heavy-handed with things, somebody gonna sit your ass down. Okay? Somebody gonna check you. Somebody's going to let you know about yourself, right? And you won't have to take a step back and reflect. Look, that's her. She reflected on her money. But the shadow side of this is that you're going to have to sit back in a way where you're going to be at a loss as opposed to being up on it. You get what I'm saying? With the bags, so to speak. Like overexerting your sense of strength or utilizing force will cause you to essentially fumble the bag in whatever way that form that comes in you depending on your situation. So I think that is important because for our clarifier today, it's all about structure, essentially. What is the structure of your life? What would you say is the foundation of your life? You get what I'm saying? Like it has to be something that can last, right? So you have to think about how you conduct yourself, how you conduct yourself with yourself, how you conduct yourself with others. You get what I'm saying? Like the emperor is not here to play, especially when we've already shown that yes, we are capable of the mental self-mastery. We can be the king of swords. If we can be the king of swords and like say think of the king of swords as like governor, right? King of swords is the governor, the emperor is the president. Okay? You are trying to get to the top in a way that is not like the fascist regime that we are seeing now, utilizing force, stealing elections, and all the like. There needs to be structure. We are currently in the middle of what many would consider the fall of an empire. And to get on the other side, if there's going to be a fall, something has to rise. Being the emperor here, it does not mean, that you are overexerting your force either. You're not overplaying your strength, right? A good leader knows when to use diplomacy over physical attack, when to use their words and use them with consideration to the gravity of the situation. Like the emperor is all of that, when in its positive side, So I think this is a really important read to have because there's many ways of us having strength. And you want a solid ass foundation. You want to be a solid ass dude or woman or person. You get what I'm saying? You deserve that for yourself. To see like, okay, I've come a long way. Because as we move into our Prism Oracle, we find that these are the things that only really matter. We want growth and we want peace. And one thing about peace in particular is that it sometimes we want our peace at the expense of others. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes we want to be like, if we don't look at the news for some time because we want peace, it gives us anxiety. Yes, valid. I've been there, and I have had to challenge that too because I want to be ethical about like where I get my news from. I don't want to just, do like the daily legacy media news because that can rot your brain. But it's like, if we're not informed at all about what's going on, right, then that's at the cost of somebody else's peace. And what do I mean by that? Because it's just news, right? Right, yeah, it is. But what is the news? It's information. Information is serving to inform us, to make us aware of something, right? And this is just an example. But what I'm saying is that if we are constantly turning away from the news, then how will we be able to feel for anyone else? Like true peace is having the awareness of the injustice and knowing that, you have a part to do in it. And that's true peace with yourself because then you're knowing like, hey, you know, like, I know I can't do it all, but I can do something. I can do something about it. I can educate people. I can share the information to others who may be able to do something even more than me, for example. Like, there's levels to peace, okay? It's not just about like, oh, you know, I don't want problems. Because peace is not the absence of problems either, okay? Like, that's where growth comes in. When you have a expanded understanding of what peace is, right? Peace isn't easy. Real peace is not easy to get. You want to know how to gain peace without either shutting yourself out from the world or, you know, I guess the other side of it would be more so like, you know, dip it in every single pot. You get what I'm saying? There's a balance that comes with peace. And that's growth, understanding what peace really is. Right? So that's why you don't need to overexert your sense of strength or hard power or muscles, so to speak, you know? Moving on to our celebrity spirit oracle, Doris Day. I'm gonna call her Peter Lady. Animals are a man's best friend. So, two things I'm getting from this on today's iteration of this, because as we know, Doris Day fucks with the animals, okay? The most vulnerable amongst us. And I will say it again, like, this isn't just about animals being vulnerable. Right now, we have a lot of vulnerable humans on our earth. And we're coming into a time, especially with Uranus and Gemini in 3 days. On top of Neptune going retrograde, like, we're coming up into some hard times. So the most vulnerable amongst us are going to need to be checked on. They are going to need your love. They are going to need your care. You don't have to ask what you need. And if you can't give it to them, then find somebody who does. Who's able to. Also, when it does come to animals, like, I'll say this, you know, about my cat Giddings, who is watching over me. I know every single moment of my life. He comes to me in my dreams. He died last year, and I had him from 2007 to 2024. It's crazy. You have entities that are watching over you. If you saw yesterday, where toward the end, I had that moment where I had ringing in my ear, and I was like, "Yo, there's an angel around." Like, no, I have been expanding my own awareness on those protective forces in the universe, and like, one cool thing about animals is that, yeah, no, they show unconditional as love. Like, humans have so much to learn from animals, okay? And I guess it's like, if you are like one with your pets and you're in sync with your pets, or particularly if your pet right now is going through something, like, you know, make sure you take them to the vet. Like, number one, take them to the vet, okay? Because pets be having things and you won't realize it until, like, they stop eating or something very, you know, so, like, just do a checkup for your vet. And for those where that finance is a matter, find a sliding scale vet. Like, I know depending on where you're at, that can be easier for some places versus others, but, like, please get your pet checked out. Especially if you have a really, really, really close bond with them, like if it's your dog or your cat, you know, for example. Like, go get them checked, make sure, especially if it's been a while. Because the love that pets give, sometimes, especially in moments when you are vulnerable, you feel vulnerable yourself, it's like, it's amazing, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, you don't have ulterior motives. Sometimes dogs do have ulterior motives, and it's usually food or wanting to go outside. But it's like, shit, you understand. Like, you get it. It's not malicious. It's not malicious. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, like I think that's an important bond to have because it kind of counterbalances when we have to deal with the matters of our world, such as our what's the tea pull for the day, which is karmic friends. Okay, so if you're coming out of an era of realizing who you can trust, what you can say to people, what you shouldn't say to people, you get what I'm saying? Sometimes it's important to test people um, to get a better understanding of who they are, right? Um, because, and I'm not saying, like, is it that manipulation? No, not in a sense. If you're just trying to get a better understanding, because if you see how somebody moves and you're like, okay, well, why do you move that way? Like, I just need to understand, it could just, your test could be direct, like, hey, why do you move that way? Because maybe they don't realize, you know. Sometimes you need to test people and just get a better understanding as to whether that person is in alignment with what you got going on, right? Um, because some people, yeah, I don't know, you could be doing your own thing. Some people can be viewing you as competition, especially if you're in your kingly energy, especially if you're on the path to becoming the emperor. Like, people are not gonna like that. Some people are intimidated. A lot of people are intimidated. Okay. Look, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. A lot of people are fucking intimidated by people who are exalted in their power, without a need to be egotistical, without a need to be conceited and throwing it in people's faces. Like, people hate confidence. Some people hate a motherfucker that's confident in themselves. Okay, and what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? So, like, but understand these are karmic friends. So it's like they're still here to teach you something. Okay? They're still here to teach you something important about yourself. So even as these bonds dissolve, like, understand that it is for only your growth and your peace. Okay? Your growth and your peace. That is the sole purpose of a karmic friend. When you are mentally and emotionally stable, okay, you can see that clearly. Okay, so don't get shaken up by those karmic friends, right? Those people who smile in your face, all the time. They want to take your place. Because you have to remember, you are high motherfucking value. Our broken mirrors, I think, got a little bit together today and wanted to produce something new. Our high value card, okay? The Empress, all right? Beauty, being sexy, abundance, confidence. Like, this goes right hand in hand with the King, right hand in hand with the Emperor. Like, we are moving on. We're leveling up here because it's like you live and you learn. And whatever don't kill you makes you stronger. And you need peace with that. It's important. I think it's funny because, like, I think it was at some point last week when this Dark Confessions card came up. I know what I am doing. I play down to keep you confused. Someone who engages in that in a manipulative sense, like, because, like I said, it's important to test people, right? But it's also important to, like, not play dumb so much that you are trying to shift something into your favor artificially. You get what I'm saying? Like, asking questions and, like, testing, like, how people are for your better informant of, like, should they be around you and all. Like, that's important. But, like, if you're trying to engage in behaviors that can, like, for example, like, put somebody's life at risk, you get what I'm saying? Or you're creating or if you're engaging in like bullying, for example, like those are like concerning behaviors, because why do you need to do that? The thing about us recognizing our, high value energy, our King of Swords energy, our Emperor energy, is that everybody has the potential to do this, to be this, right? And when people, I'll say it again, I said it yesterday, like when people aren't living up to their potential, it can be sad, but you have to deal with people from where they are, not from what they could be, right? That's important too, because operating off of potential versus the present can lead to overlooking red flags, okay? And somebody playing dumb to keep you confused is a red flag, because, like I said, people know what the fuck they're doing, okay? And that's why you need to test people, because you need to test, are they all the way there, for example? Like, are they as stable as you mentally and emotionally, right? Because if they're not, then they're going to create problems for you. They're not going to be comfortable with that. If they don't know how to ask for advice, if they don't know how to, admit when they aren't their best selves, that's what people who play dumb, like, ultimately that's their issue, is that if they're playing dumb to manipulate a situation or get something that they want out of you, or to bully you or anything like that, it's symbolizing that they don't know how to be direct. They don't know how to do the test in a certain way, assertive way. So, yeah, don't play dumb. That's all I can really say. At times, you may receive a series of favors or unexpected gifts for no apparent reason. The angels are here to remind you that you are deserving of all good things. I don't know if I really have anything else to say with this angelic connections. Like, you are deserving of all good things, and I'll tell you if no one else is. Get in touch with your higher power today at some point, or your higher self today at some point. And simply ask, like, what are all the good things, okay? Because that's what I'm about to ask for this timing oracle. When will we know what all the good things are? Is the question for today. Because we are coming into a month that is starting off pretty bright, but it's going to be challenging. And these transits aren't fast. These transits are not fast. I mean, Mercury's fast, but like with Neptune, with Chiron, okay, with Saturn, all going retrograde, these are not going to be fast transits. That means we're going to have to sit our ass down a bit and do some observation or some reflection for ourselves. Because it is way too important to do that. It's way too many things going on. I don't know, I can't English right now, but it's way too many things going on to not check in, and be present. And that's essentially what I feel like King of Swords is also a warning, right? To remain present. Because with these transits, it may be easy to like want to go back to the past, have a sense of nostalgia. But only forward. Onward. So, when will we see all these good things? Time will bring a surprise, y'all. Okay, I heard that. So just stay present so that you know where the surprise is, okay, in your life. Stay present so you know where the surprise is in your life. Because it'll be at times of immense doubt and worry where you will receive a sign that'll let you know that you are worthy. That rhymed? What the fuck I just say? Spirit, I tell Spirit be on Spirit. I'm gonna try to say it one more time and then we can go. There are times of immense doubt and worry. Well, time will let you know that you are worthy. Is that what I said? I don't know. I'm gonna run this back. It'll be in the captions. That's a mantra right there. That is a prayer. That is whatever you want to call your engagement, spell, whatever. I don't care. Like, that felt good. So on that note, thank you so much for watching. This has been your daily tarot and oracle read on Jade Emerald Green, and I'll see you tomorrow.